Test.
We good?
Sean's on now, too.
Right. Excellent. All right, it is 6:34. Today is Wednesday, September 4th, 2024, and this is the meeting of the Westport Long-Term Building Committee. On March 29th, 2023, Governor Maura Healey signed into law Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, which includes a 2-year extension of the option for public bodies to hold remote meetings effective immediately. This legislation simply extends the current option for remote meetings through March 31st, 2025, and does not otherwise affect the ability of public bodies to conduct their meetings remotely through video and/or audio conferencing under Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021. And this meeting will be a hybrid meeting. I would ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much for everyone attending here today. We've got a couple of action items. First and foremost, we're going to catch up on approval of some outstanding minutes.
So
And
who's on?
so is it, not sure who the 508 number is, but if it would be possible to mute. And I know we have Ms.
508
Brown and
number?
Mr. Leach.
The 508 number, a member, or?
It appears to be. Excellent, okay, thank you. So the first action item is the approval of outstanding meeting minutes. Thank you to Mr. Hartnett. I will again ask if anybody is willing to serve as clerk for this committee. Somehow I didn't think I'd hear anybody, but had to ask. I appreciate Mr. Hartnett preparing these.
I think I'm going to have to bow out after this meeting.
Understood, understood. All right, we'll have to,
I'm carrying it for another board right now.
understood. We'll try one more time down the road here. So we've got meeting minutes here from the August 6th meeting, which was the walkthrough at the high school, and a meeting on July 1st. And I would entertain a motion to approve these minutes.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve both of these minutes. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move on to a vote. This will be a roll call vote. Mr. Soers?
Andy Soers, aye.
Mr.
Evan
Ju-
Gentry, aye.
Mr. Dutra?
Aye, Craig Dutra.
Ms. Brown?
Aye. Cindy Brown, aye.
Thank you. Mr. Leach?
Sean Leach, aye.
Thank you very much. The motion carries to approve the minutes, and we'll move on to the next action item, which is the discussion
Did you vote on that as well?
of, excuse me?
Did you vote as well? Did you? Roll call?
Vote.
Did you vote on the minutes?
Oh, good call. Thank you so much. I, Christopher Thrasher. Now officially, we have approved the minutes unanimously. Thank you very much, Mr. Hartnett, for keeping me in line here. So the next thing, got this as an action item. Now, of course, the expenditure of anything is going to be the purview of the select board. However, I did think that it would be relevant to ask the committee's approval for this expenditure of a building scan of the old high school that's been offered by Serped. I would ask for the committee to approve, or to recommend that the select board approve expenditure of approximately $13,500 to do a full 3D scan of the entire floor plan of the old high school. I think that this particular thing, which has been brought to the committee's attention previous to my term, apparently, this offer, and I think this is something that could be utilized by a variety of individuals and groups within the town. I think this would actually be very good to have for any potential project manager that gets hired up, as well as just good to know, because I don't think there's an overall blueprint right now of all the nooks and crannies and all the just how much space, storage and otherwise is actually included in the footprint of that building. So this offer came through to Mr. Hartnett from Mr. Jim Witten. And I think, again, it would be something that would be very beneficial to have. I believe that there is still at least 197, or is it $196,000 in the,
About 196, I believe, 97, yeah.
understood, and it seems to me that this particular expenditure would be something that could be potentially covered by the town meeting appropriation from 2023. So is there does anybody have any discussions, or perhaps would like to move that that the Long-Term Building Committee recommend that the Select Board go ahead with this expenditure?
I move approval of the expenditure of $13,500 for a scan, building scan, and engaging Serped for that project.
Second that. Thank you, Mr. Dutra. Mr. Gendreau, it has been moved and seconded. I'll ask if there is any further discussion.
Yeah, I'd like just to make another note that that was recommended by planning board.
Okay, excellent. And any further discussion from online? Hearing none, we'll move on to a vote. Once again, this will be a roll call vote. Mr.
Jamie
Soers?
Soers, aye.
Evan Jedger, aye. Craig Dutra, aye.
Ms. Brown?
Cindy Brown, aye.
Mr. Leach?
Sean Beach, aye.
Christopher Thrasher, aye. So it has been approved to recommend that the Select Board go forward with a $13,500 expenditure to do a scan of the old high school building. So that concludes our action items. The next item is a discussion item talking about the.
One more question on that.
Yes,
So
sir.
Jim, on that, that's gonna be just added to the RFP that we're gonna provide that?
This would be a separate, I could add that to the RFP that.
Because you haven't sent it out yet, like we had planned, right? So that
So what did we discuss, I was looking for that, was 175 we're saying we have allocated for it?
So I think I changed it a couple of times. I have 150 here now. I could change it to 175. It's up to the committee or the select board.
And that would basically exhaust, with a couple of thousand left over, the money, with the money you just approved, we have still about 180,000 or something from that?
After this expenditure for the scan, we'd have, what, 183,
Okay, yeah.
83,000.
Yeah, so it's 175. I think that was in your RFP, wasn't it?
I've had a couple, this latest edition is 150.
Oh, because I thought I saw one.
Yeah, 175 was in the one that went to the select board the other night.
Oh,
I
okay,
fine tuned it,
okay.
Yeah.
That's the one I pulled.
Yeah, 150 is what I'm showing from the,
this is the latest, is the
Latest one.
150.
okay, excellent. And I think that, the scan, frankly, I think that's probably, we're getting it cheaper going through Serpent than we might from, if that was gonna be included in.
Well, it's a service
you know.
that Serpent provides. I mean,
Exactly.
once again, this can's been kicked down the road. During COVID, we had this discussion,
What was the language of, or the, I don't need the exact language, but the approximate language of the town meeting vote? Was it exclusively limited to the disposition of the building?
No.
Okay.
Pull it up in a minute.
As I recall, there was a specific mention of the project manager and of feasibility, and also of any expenditures related to such a study. So,
right,
It-
talking about what the original action of the select board was through town meeting, what we could do as a select board.
and that was, there have been several warrant articles through the years. The one I'm referring to specifically is the one passed in 2023, I believe. So, and that's the one that still has a significant amount remaining.
But I think that's also the one that allowed the select board to determine without going back to town meeting.
I don't think only if we wanted more money.
Right.
So, right
If we
now,
were
it's
pursuing
just-
grants,
the question is,
yeah,
if we went with the 175, we in essence exhaust that allocation from town meeting. If we come in as Jim was proposing for tonight, at 150, that leaves some money to play with for other related expenses. But if this thing is written very tightly in terms of the town meeting vote, that may be not necessary. And we go with the higher number because it might affect the quality of the proposals we get. I mean, I read it and I was exhausted, what we're asking this entity to do. I mean, they've got to consider like 3 different scenarios. They're basically getting asked to analyze everything we couldn't answer.
yeah, but another thing is, we have a lot of information to provide them.
That's true.
I think at this point, with the studies that have been done, with adding, again, the scan, having a full overview of the footprint of the building, I think that personally, I would like to see the fee at 150. I think that's a reasonable request for this. Jim, have you found the warrant article specifics, or?
Yeah, so, see if town will vote to raise, appropriate, borrow, and/or transfer from available funds the amount not to exceed $200,000 to be expended under the direction of the Board of Selectmen for a feasibility study and project manager to evaluate municipal buildings and the use of the old high school building and property, 19 Main Road, Westport, for new uses, including but not limited to municipal use, educational use, school administration use, and housing, and/or take any other action relative thereto.
So that authorized the selectmen to take any other action in the future.
And but we, obviously, when we were looking with a lower number, we must have spent some of that already.
We spent 3,500,
3,500, I think.
3,500.
Yeah, 3,500, I think, for the facilitator.
What
I,
was the final outcome on that? 'Cause I thought there was another meeting we were supposed to have.
well, we had the workshop that wasn't all that well attended, but at the same time, I think that there was a lot of, frankly, there was a lot of regurgitation of things that had been discussed over and over again, to the point where I think we kind of ended it after that.
That was a mistake.
Unfortunately, it seems like, well, I mean, when the attendance wasn't there, unfortunately,
Well, I don't know,
It's,
I
you
attended
know.
the first meeting, and then I thought there was gonna be another one, so.
so that was the original intention, but we never, as I recall, unfortunately, the workshop didn't even actually have a quorum at that point. I think there wasn't, I think it was 3 of us here, and Jim, of course, was here. I think that was it, actually. And I know, Mr. Dutra, that was before you were on the committee. But unfortunately, with the reschedules and everything, but the bottom line is, I think that what we learned was that while the facilitator perhaps could have helped us come to the conclusion we came to a few meetings ago, this is the more important aspect of this, because, I mean, we're dealing with such a large, and a lot of moving pieces, to the point where you have to have a professional project manager to sit down and take a look at all this. And I would like to say thank you to Mr. Hartnett for putting this together, because I went over this extensively and was very impressed at the depth of it, and I think this is exactly what's needed to move forward. And also, I do have this on as a discussion item and not a action item, because, of course, the select board has the purview to move forward on this.
All the action would be
So-
to make a recommendation to the select board.
Indeed, but it at that point, frankly, it's not even, it wouldn't be needed, and also, it was my understanding, based on my conversations with the select board chair, that at this point, the long-term building committee is kind of removed from that particular part of the process, so.
I think in the select board, we decided that Mr. Hartnett could have just did this for us.
Right.
Exactly. So, I mean, again, it's on here as a discussion item, because, I mean, it would be, I feel I would be remiss if I didn't bring this to the full committee. But, if anybody has any comments on any of the.
And it's on our
details
agenda
of
for
here.
Monday night, isn't it, Steve, Jim?
It can be, I don't know if it has to be, it's up to,
I think it was set that
yeah.
you could just move forward. I mean, I don't think anything in this meeting's changed anything.
Okay.
Other than that, we did get it out into a public meeting on what the charge for the select board was given at that last town meeting.
And we didn't, and the discussion we had was, we were only giving it, we were, in a sense, we're gonna approve it with the understanding that this committee could have one more shot at it. And I haven't heard anything tonight that suggested we wanted to have another shot at what's in the RFP. We're just going with the RFP. So, yeah.
I'm certainly content with what's in here, and again, I appreciate the work on this.
No, I think Jim did an excellent job.
Absolutely. I would ask if it's possible to get the Serpad building scan on the next agenda for the select board as well, to get that rolling as soon as possible as well.
Again, I think
That'd
Jim
be
can
huge,
add that
so.
to it.
Tomorrow's the date, right? Got one more data?
Yep,
Okay, excellent. All right.
so,
Yeah, I know you weren't through all of this, but this scan's been talked over for years, the 4 years that I've been around, so. It's nothing
This
new.
is, yeah, this is before my time on the committee. I did not know that this was an option that could have been utilized. So as soon as I saw it, I wanted to make sure that we acted on it as much as we could. But again, it's obviously in select board hands, so I would ask some movement on that next agenda for sure.
so
you know.
just to be clear on that, this committee is recommending to the select board that we go forward with the scan.
Yes,
That'd be a separate proposal from this, but we will add the scan as documents that will be available to whoever.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And to reiterate, I think that with the addition of the scan, with the addition of the documentation that has been prepared over the years, I think the number, the 150 number again, is perfectly in line with what's being asked here, so. Anyway, at this point, is there any discussion online about this RFP?
That sounds like this is moving in a direction instead of a direction.
Exactly. My thoughts as well here, so I'm hoping to, so Jim, you're going to send this all out tomorrow, correct?
Yes, I'd like to send it out tomorrow. Tomorrow or Friday, I will, a
Excellent.
couple of days to get going.
Do we have a timeline on the, when Serpent would do the scan?
That I have no idea. I haven't been involved with Serpent.
So would it be Jim that's facilitating it? What, or who exactly
I think-
would
I
it
think-
need to be
I'd reach out
contacted?
to Serpent and have them do,
Okay,
give us a formal proposal and
Let them know that we're doing this in our RFP.
gotcha.
get a timeline as to when it can be done. I mean, we got some time, be mid-October before the bids are due, and then it takes, a couple of weeks to review the bids, interview the submittals and or the firms that submit, and then get it to the select board for the contract approval, so there'll be some time.
Excellent. I did see a message pop up there from Mr. Leach. Mr. Leach, did you have something you wanted to add to the discussion at this time, or if you could take him off mute from the,
Said he's switching to the phone, take him off mute. I don't know if I can. I think you have to take yourself off mute, *6 maybe? It would be *6 on your phone.
I'll give it one last call. If Mr. Leach, you wanted to say any words, go right ahead. All right. Hearing none at this time. So again, it is my understanding that this is not, there is no action item on the RFP that's necessary from this committee. So at this point, got no topics not reasonably anticipated 48 hours in advance. So if anyone, unless anyone has anything else to bring up at this point, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. We'll vote on this, a roll call vote. Mr. Soers?
Manny Suarez, aye?
Evan Ginger, aye.
Craig Dutra, aye.
Ms. Brown?
Cindy Brown, aye.
Mr. Leach?
He's still muted.
I think if Mr. Leach is still muted. Just record him as not voting on this, and I'll vote Christopher Thrasher, aye. So this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.